Okay. So let's go ahead and I think that will give you a good idea of how to implement this stuff. And so the accessors, you don't need to it's only the mutators. The mutators are your actions. It's like you're typing in a 2-word command in a text-based adventure game. So the mutators are your actions. So those are the ones you have to respond with a text message. Okay. Now let me just show you one more time. Let me just mention one thing about this open door thing. Okay. I'm going to look for open door again. Okay, there's open car door. Okay, so do some checks. Let me implement this. Okay, this is a nice one to implement. If the door is already open, then don't change the if you've got an already situation where the door is already in the state you want it to be in, then you don't want to change anything. It's already in that state. Okay. So if the door is already open, how do we check if the door is already open? We can use the method that we just implemented is open and pass door in. If the door is already open, okay, then don't change the state, but you do have to set the message. Then the current message equals message door already. Okay, and you type in the door and door state open. And boom, that's it. And then let's see, if the door is already open, that's fine. But what if, I'm just thinking this stuff through my head, there may be more things you have to check. But basically, if the door is locked, you can't open it. Okay, so that's another guard. I'm going to call this a guard, and I'm going to talk about why. If the car is locked, that means all the doors are locked. And I could have just, I have a choice here. I could have just put, is locked. The private variable is locked. This should give me the exact same thing. Okay. If the door is locked, then I don't do anything to the state of the car. I just say message. It will be something like door not yet. Door, okay, open door, not yet unlocked. Okay, fantastic. And if we make it here, we've passed the checks. I don't know that. There might be some more checks, but this is the idea. You check up here, and then you just return a message, return a message, return a message. Okay? And then you say, so we made it here, so that means we can open the door. Okay? We can successfully open the door. What does that mean? We have to open the door. Okay, so we already opened the door. Okay, so we already changed the state of the door. So we're going to open the door, and then we need to send a message. Okay, current message equals message open door okay. Okay, open door okay, which means we have successfully, which I don't know, we'll have to go read the message to see what that message is. Hopefully it's commonsensical. Okay, let's see. Message open door okay. Open door okay is the door is now open. Okay. So, and depending on what this door is, it'll be like the driver's side door is now open, the passenger side door is now open. Actually, I'm gonna have to look at that. Let's look at that specifically, because door, if you just look at the enumeration, it just says driver, passenger. So these are like the adjectives to the door. So we actually want the message to say the passenger side, and we want to write the term door in there. So it'll just say like the passenger door is now open, right? Or the rear passenger door is now open. So I will have to fix some of these. And by the way, this is probably going to be par for the course, because this is a complicated thing we're developing with lots of messages and stuff like that. So let's have a discussion on Piazza. Let me know when you're doing this. If you hey, Dr. K, the message doesn't make sense in this case. And we'll work on it, and we'll work our way through this stuff. Okay? So that's what development is like. You think you've got the right requirements and stuff like that. It's not always nice and neat, like these are the exact requirements, and just go to it, implement those, and everything's golden. It's usually these are the requirements I think we're going to need, and then you go and develop, and you go back to the customer as a developer, and you say, well, if we listened to your requirements, how you gave them to us, this is what we end up with. And then the customer says, oh, no, that's not what I want. Do this instead. Okay, so that's what it's going to be. That's one of the things it's going to be like with this project. It's going to be a non-trivial project in which there is some back and forth between you guys, the developers, and me, the customer, and also kind of a developer too. So anyway, but what I want you to understand about this is the pattern of this message, and this is going to be most of your mutator methods. These initial checks are going to be very common, and sometimes they are known as guards. Okay, so these are guards. They're just like kind of checks you have to get out of the way before you can get to the thing you're really supposed to be doing. In this case, opening the door. All right, you have to check, and if we make it here, we pass the checks, and this is our, I'm going to call it sunny day scenario. And if you go look that up, software development, I put it in here already, sunny day scenario. It gives me some AI thing, but it gives me, the Wikipedia gives me a happy path. So the context of software information modeling, a happy path sometimes is the default scenario featuring no exceptional or error conditions. Okay, so basically all of our checks have passed, and we can go ahead and implement our default or happy scenario. Okay, I just learned to call it a sunny day scenario, so that's what I'm calling it here. I mean, it actually says, if you read on to this, happy flow default scenario. Happy day or sunny day scenario, and golden path are slang synonyms for happy path. So I usually use the term sunny day scenario. But again, that's me. It just depends where you learned software development. But happy path is fine. Okay, so we're going to be seeing this a lot. There's these initial checks or guards. All right, and then you this is not quite right. Let's see. And this is not quite right because we are correctly, updating the message. But once we update the message, we have to make sure we return from these guards. Okay, and I think we talked about this in the Q&A. Update the message and then return. Update the message and then return. And here in our sunny day scenario, our happy path scenario, we basically update the state, update the message, and we don't have to have a return statement because this is the last statement. In fact, if I put a return statement in, I'll probably get a warning. And you see, if I just hover over this, return is unnecessary as the last statement in a void method.